And welcome to the show. What's going on, everybody? Happy Friday. It's Friday. It's finally Friday. Sky at the gym is doing pretty good. And let's get into some news. We have the Iran war popping off like it ain't no thing, yo. So, what's going on today? A lot of things. A lot of things are developing, and a lot of things are crazy sauce. And Iraq militias are now fighting the United States military. Welcome to the party, guys. Um, about time you show up. Yemen's running a little late too. Syria is running exceptionally late. And Russia is now giving intel to the Iranians. So let's go through the map. Let's get to the mappy map. The mappy map. So continued attacks across Iran. You know, that's just the way it is. You know, we got big developments over here where we have U.S. bombers starting to land. Let's watch this. Yes. So they're bringing in the Lancers. Additional bombers to base Diego Garcia. So that's happening. They're bringing in the big bombers. If you ever seen a Lancer up close, they're pretty cool. There's one in the Lowry Air Museum here in Denver. It's pretty cool to see close up. So we have some attacks in Israel. Attempted attacks. Nothing really over here. This is pretty quiet over here, which is very surprising because they are the ones who initially dropped the first bombs. That's why the U.S. looks like it has its pants down, because everybody's asking, what's the plan? What's the plan? I don't know. Someone just dropped some bombs. We were drug into it. That's the plan. So here we go. We got Iranian drones and rockets reportedly hit U.S. military Victoria base camp near Baghdad International Airport. It's burning. Burning. Burning with desire. They're on fire. Multiple airstrikes reported. State media accuse Iranian preparing terrorist attacks, and won't talk about the Mossad attacks that were attempted down in Dubai, in Bahrain. Won't really talk about those anymore, huh? Didn't age. It wasn't really talked about. What we got here? Fire officers, warehouse, U.S. companies, Halliburton, Bologna drone attack, explosion. Iranian president warned Putin that targeting U.S. bases in neighboring countries is a purely defensive measure, and rightfully so. Plumes of smoke rising, fires broke out. Plex, no pictures on that. And we have some missiles fired, and here, Bloomberg Brent crude, $90. All the analysts are saying that's going to go through the roof unless the U.S. drill baby drills, which that is the plan. Let's hit in a sky over Kuwait. I remember when the first Iraqi invasion happened. It was so crazy. Everybody had like flags in their windows. There's like so many flags. And nowadays, you don't really see those because everybody's so brainwashed. Iranian missiles attacks a target city, causing excessive damage at 2 hotels, residential tower. We got to remember that this is where they have a lot of the U.S. intelligence, so that is why they are attacking civilian assets. And some more Fairfield, England. That is not even on the map. I don't know why it's popping up. Iranian attack buildings of Bahrain housing. Qatar condemns Iranian attack in buildings. So we are moving Lancers in, big old missile bombers in here. We got here, before and after satellite images. Yeah, okay, bombs fell. We know that. All right. Tugboat. Iranian force responded to tugboat attempting to render assistance to another vessel hit by the Iranian forces in Strait Hormuz. Violating vessel Strait of Hormuz was attacked. What we got here? Initially fired on the street area, caused failing debris. UAE defense successful. And Charles de Gaulle's moving in. Like, who cares? It's basically all these European countries are basically tapped out because they gave all of their military assets to the Ukrainians. So this is just, okay, cool, we got an aircraft carrier, but how long can it stay on station? Cool story. So Diego Garcia is down here. So we're moving a bunch of bombers into this area to fly into and do some. We're gonna do some shock and awe and stuff. Gonna blow some stuff up. But I think the big story of the night is this. Is the big story of the night. Heavy battles are taking place between Iraqis and U.S. forces at the moment. And that is crazy. Because Iraq is supposed to be this huge staging area for them to launch an assault with the Kurds. They're supposed to supposedly launch an assault with a bunch of Kurd forces through Iraq. But if they don't have a staging area and the Iranian militias have been officially activated, I think that causes a huge problem for their ground war. I'm not an expert. I'm just reading other people's news. I'm just trying to do it in a laid back, laissez-faire. I'm not trying to say, oh, I'm just trying to go through it, calm, collective. Here's it backed up. U.S. and Iran-backed militias intensify attacks in Israel. All right. Not giving you money, Guardian. You are garbage. Iran-backed militias in Iran Middle East intensifying attacks against Israel and their allies. Retaliation organizing. Yes, they will intensify attacks, and rightfully so. And as I said, I'm surprised that Yemen hasn't really jumped in. But apparently, the word on the street is Yemen is basically holding countries hostage and basically looking for payouts instead of launching missiles. They're saying, well, you give us some money, we will not attack you. And so, yeah, this is all on Twitter. You can go check it out. Pretty crazy. There's cluster munitions. No iron dome can defend against this. Jeez. I would shart my pants if I saw that. There would be some major sharting going on. Why are the Iraqis fighting American forces? 'Cause this land is their land. You know? So apparently there's Apaches flying in. Wonder if it's related to Iraq's long resistance video during an attack on a hotel, which used trust represent today, and soldiers destroyed an additional building completely burned. U.S. airbase. Yes, it's basically at this point it is a war of missile attrition. How long can the U.S. stay on station? Because now that the Iranian-backed militias are joining, as I said before, into Iraq. Let's look at the map here, okay? Let's look at the map. Hopefully my street address and crap doesn't pop up again. That was embarrassing. So we have Iraq here, big all the way down here. So this is basically one of the only ways that the U.S. is able to like bring in the Kurds. Azerbaijan might help. Afghanistan's sure not going to help them. Kuwait, they're gonna get bombed, and I don't think Kuwait wants to have anything to do with that business. So the big country is Iraq, and if this is happening in Iraq, the U.S. has a ground problem. So up here, Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps launched missile attacks on sites in Iraqi Kurdistan, which is, I think part of this is still no, that's Syria. There's parts of Syria that are still controlled by Turkey. But yeah, this is their staging area. This is where they want to go. They want to go right into here, and then straight down. I saw graphs how they're going to go from, where is that country? They want to launch from over here up, and then from Iraq down. They want to meet in the middle and shake hands like the Continental Railroad. That's what they want to do. But will they be able to do it? We shall see. All right, what else we got here? Counting down next wave of shut-in, zero hedge, Trump ready to continue operations until Iranians can't fight any longer. Good luck with that. 90 million people have been waiting for this war for 20 years. Cool story, dude. Cool story. I saw this funny meme. Where is it? So yeah, I don't have the meme, but we're here. You know, we're a part of another globe spinning in space. I'm sure there's aliens out there that are enjoying the same the same explosions, and we're all just sitting here spinning in space. That's what I tell people. It's like, try not to worry about things you can't control, but just stay informed. That's all you got to do. And stop giving these bozos money. Stop it with this left-right paradigm. You know, they don't care about you, groupie. Stop being a groupie for people who don't give a crap about you, that are using you. And get more active. Get more active locally. Start showing up. Start asking questions. Start asking where your property taxes go. Start questioning local laws. That is one way to actually change from within. You start with yourself and you work your way out. But the first start is, once you figure out yourself, is start locally. Because that's all we can do in the big picture. You really can't change something that's happening 5,000 miles away from you. Not going to happen. You'll never meet those people. They don't even know who you are. So stay informed. Get active. Get outside. Play some golf. Throw some bowling balls. Play some hopscotch. Jump rope. Do what you got to do. Play some foosball. You know, play some video games. Go hang out with Mario a little bit. Don't worry about Godzilla. He'll never get to the Space Needle. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope everybody has a wonderful night. As the world turns, these are the days of our lives. Like a sand through hourglass, man. Like and subscribe. Feel free to donate. And thanks for watching. We will see what happens with Iraq. That is a crazy happening.